Hey guys, welcome back. Hope you had a good weekend. We're back. It is October 20th. I had a few days last week I wasn't able to give a recap video on our small account challenge. I had other things going on. I didn't do a whole lot of trading either. 2 Fridays ago, I think it was Friday, that big red day, and so I've been just kind of going slow anyways because of that. Unfortunately, last week was not a nice week to take off because it was pretty big volatility, pretty big range each day, so can be bad, can be good. I typically do worse in it, but I think I've been better lately. That said, my big red day was on one of those large range days that just caught and trapped. But if you look at last week a little bit, I mean, you have like, this isn't a good example, but a large range, so you only need one candle to make a nice amount of profit. Ivy's come down a little bit. We've tightened up. We're kind of grinding up now. Review today's 0-day options I took, and this small account challenge I'm working at. I think Emperor's chart, I had the wrong link or something, so I didn't see Emperor's today. Here's Eric's chart. This is Spy Day Trading on YouTube. You can find his Discord in the description. So we gapped up. This is a 30-minute chart. Gapped up. It was a gap and go day. Very grindy. There is one little catch here on this breakout of green. That was kind of the big 30-minute break today. It was the green, then it just kind of tapered all day without much else to think about. Didn't quite retest the all-time high for this bigger cup, and so we're now just kind of wedging up here. We've got nice liquidity here if it wants to come down, retest the green for an inverse head, or wants to come up here first, make a head, grab this to make maybe a handle for this cup, or full on just dropping back in the green and come back down, retesting some of those levels, filling that gap. We'll see what the week brings. You can watch Eric's video for the macro. He is more experienced than I. So on the 1 minute, I started charting then towards like midday because Eric took off. But here's Eric's 1 minute. Like I said, there was one trade here that in hindsight looks beautiful. Structure was pretty tight, so that was kind of my reasoning for not really catching anything this morning. Being a Monday, I want to be very careful too. Mondays are like the new Fridays for me, where it's just trappy and grindy. So I did take some on do that. I did take some on the big account. I'll just review them on here. Small account though, I didn't take anything in here, but this little retest on the pink after this breakout. This is the one I considered, but again, the range was just so tight. We still had magenta here as resistance, and yeah, so, but we had pink build liquidity and little head and shoulders on the way up. But yeah, this little retest right here would have been a nice long. Trying to get on the break, it's just, yeah, running on the break is just kind of silly because the risk reward really isn't that good. If you're looking at magenta, there's your take profit. Kind of hoping for it to break out of it is not a strategy I like to do. I maybe should do it more, I don't know. But on the retest, buying it on support is usually safer. Just getting your positions right where your stops would be, basically. After that, yeah, it was just a big bull flag that just kind of wedged around and not too pretty. I got let me look at my chart here. That's about where it ended for me on there. I did a couple big trades, or a couple trades on the bigger account. Where were those? I did try one retracement trade. Was it? I don't, not that one. No. He'd stopped charting at that point, and yeah. Anyways, didn't get this one. Could have seen a little head and shoulders up here. I mean, yeah, it would have been a bit of a chase because it was like one candle grabbed all that liquidity. Yeah, I don't like that for an entry. But then you could see on my chart purple and orange potentially for the channels for the bullish controlled selling. Actually, this is good enough selling for puts for sure. This one I wouldn't want to hold puts through this at all. But on the break here, not great. I was waiting for this break. I was like, well, it's so close to high day, I'll wait for the cup because this structure isn't very nice to me. So I was thinking I'll wait for the cup and then the handle, or I'll just wait for a retrace which might end up being a cup and handle. Never gave me that retrace bounce off purple there, so didn't catch that long. Didn't get on this breakout, which is okay. Yeah, just not great structure in there. I think this was a tweet or some news. And then we're grinding up, completed this cup, never made a handle there, and then just started selling in this on my chart. Let's see, this was gold. I guess I had 2 different golds. Oh, it was red. Yeah, I should have alarms on them. So that was red, yeah. So I did take a trade in here. I had this angled a little bit differently, actually. I think this angle is more appropriate. I had it steeper. And then I'll show you where I did take my trade. So at this point, it's tapering, right? It's pretty clearly tapering this red from more aggressive buying. Definitely more aggressive than this white. And there's probably a less aggressive one, but this is the tapering that I saw. And on the 30-minute, it looked like it could build some liquidity, basically. It was just ripping up this green right here. And then, so yeah, you can expect to chop all the way to this green. Maybe we'll sell it off, but yeah, not a whole lot of liquidity to grab up there. So this was somewhat expected, I guess. So okay, yeah, I did short it. So when my line was steeper here, I did short it somewhere in here. Bought puts and then close it out, and then I adjusted my line. I'm thinking, you know what? Actually, I should wait for it to break this one instead. I had it breaking another one. I think which one that was. I can't remember now. And then I had purple as my stop. I think I had it something like this. I think I got puts here, but it hadn't broken this. But I hadn't had this drawn here yet. If that makes any sense. So I had this was. I guess this was a little steeper, something like this. So it had broken that one. It's just a rough sketch in, but it had broken that one, and then it came up, and I think I got puts up here. Or yeah, another retracement. I did, yeah. Ripped through that, and I don't think I flipped the calls, thankfully, or maybe I did. I can't remember. It was a small day on the big account. And then it just kind of continued to grind up in this. To say you'd get puts right here, not necessarily, because your stop out is on ascending line, so that's not favorable at all. Waiting for it to break this and then retrace and retest it for resistance would be much more ideal, or completing the inverse cup with here and then making a handle with the retrace. It broke it and gave us a little retrace, a bit choppy in here, not very clean, but and that's also depends on the selling that it's in. If it's in this greener selling that I charted, and yeah, it's good. So I did get puts in there. The break and retest was a little ugly for me. Let's see, where'd I get them? I got them on, I think this green candle right here, I got puts. Yeah, let me see, because this is on the small account even. I think I got them on both. Let's see, 236. Okay, yeah, it's on this candle right here, this red candle. So I got puts here just because it broke that. Kind of retested it here, not perfectly, but at that point I had just drawn in this green, so I was like, all right, let's retest the green. Gotten close retesting that. I'll just grab it, and then I'll just have green as my stop. And this is the problem with that, is that that green candle closing above it. I'm like, okay, well, that was going to be my stop, so I got to close it. So I actually closed it here for small loss, unfortunately. That was 2 contracts. And I'm trying to do kind of one and done with a small account. Need a couple just single big trades to get it back up. So 2 contracts there. I closed it there because that was kind of the rules I set for myself when I opened it with this green. And I knew if it closed there above that green, ideally or theoretically my next stop would be this magenta, and it's just too far away. I didn't want to hold puts through all the way up here. If I had to retest here, make another head to grab this shoulder, or if I just wanted to grind up that, I didn't really know. So at this point, this is one of those things like having a horizontal stop, like a horizontal line, would have been better potentially. Where would I have had it? Suppose breaking above this liquidity right here that it grabbed, because it was using that as resistance. Then you could say that a nicer entry would have definitely helped. I don't really see a better entry that I could have taken. I suppose on this candle that I've broken it, and then if I'd drawn the green in time, which I don't think I had. Then getting it somewhere on that retest. Yeah, not a very nice entry in here, really. But I did get it here, and I got it on the big account also. And then the small account, I stopped here. Or no, the big account I didn't get it. I shot on the small. I'm like, I'll just do the small for now. Stop there. 22 cents to 20 cents. It came down. I'm like, dang it. One of those trades. So it came down. Of course, it's not moving much. I mean, it's a small range. I was looking for take profits at this purple, and then at this purple down here, or this red. So anyways, I wasn't in a position though. I'd stopped out. So it came down here, started making these wicks, and it retested the green, and I got in on the big account actually on like this candle, I think. It wasn't a great entry. It's a bit of a chase, but I have pretty defined stops at this point with this green channel. I thought this could be my stop, or definitely this one will be my stop. And it's broken this red, which was what I was expecting, or if it did, that was basically my cue to go short on the retrace for an inverse head, or potentially this is a head to grab this shoulder, who knows. But defining the risk and taking the chance. So got it on that one, and I was able to hold through here because it didn't break my green. So caught these couple candles. It wasn't too bad. Screen trade for sure. I think I closed one on this candle just because it was pretty big red, and this point was choppy. And then I did close my next one. This candle is big enough. So I kind of got fortunate there because I didn't leave a single runner, which normally like to, but I was like, you know what? This actually wasn't here at that time. This was like up here. So, and this one wasn't here. This didn't exist. So it's kind of in the middle of nowhere, but I was like, this is a nice candle. I'm just going to close it out. So I think I'm right on the big account. I haven't really checked, but I did have this one trade looked pretty nice. Had a few other bad ones. Not too many though. I didn't overtrade. It was good. Yeah, I was very disciplined today on my tradings. You can tell my first trades were not until 2 something. Didn't catch this move to the upside. Considered it, but yeah. Of course, in hindsight, it looks good. I think on this one, I wanted to retrace also. It really just full body green candled almost all the way up to the resistance, which actually touched like perfectly that purple. Yeah. Yeah, considered it on this because you got volume there too, but we are in a wedge there, so it's just, you just got to be careful. My stop would have to be down here, so to catch up here, it's like, well, I'm not gonna wait for that to be my stop. I was just being patient on it in case this was the head for this little shoulder, and I wanted to retrace further down because I thought it could have more room to go before it flipped completely bearish, but apparently it didn't need to, and it went up. And a nice short, and in hindsight, it's so perfect. The retest on the red here turns into resistance, and then even the resistance on the purple, they coincided so lovely. I saw this one, I'm like, it's a little far away from purple. I'm not just gonna take a put here. Came down, I just didn't see it in the same time. I don't know how it didn't, but sometimes you don't. Let me just show you. It's kind of, yeah, you're seeing it like this, and so I'm thinking if it breaks purple, I'm gonna wait for it to cup the close, and then a handle, maybe retesting purple for support, and not thinking I won't take puts, but I don't know. Yeah, it's like not trusting my channels almost, that these actually will flip into resistance, and that this purple would be resistance, and that this support will then turn to resistance. Because sure enough, yeah, it would have been a very nice zombie trade, as Eric puts it, or retracement. It is a wedge trade. It isn't a wedge, but if you have clear stops and you're opening close to them, you can definitely do it. You don't always get this clean of action. You know, very well could have grinded and then even broken out and then potentially came back in for a little stop hunt, kind of like it did right here. I actually took one more trade here. It could have been a small green, but I was being a little greedy on it. Let's see, 349. There's only $1 loss in the small account, so I got a little fortunate there. Normally I wouldn't take it right before the 10-minute move. I'm either in it before the 10-minute by a few minutes, or I'm waiting for the 10-minute to start. This one I kind of broke my rule on that a little bit. It's because it broke out of the purple and did close up here, and so I did end up opening it right here on this candle. Flash down red, I just held it, and it was like, thought it might start to go, and then, you know, sometimes it'll just sit there on support and keep dancing around big wicks for the 10-minute and then come up in like the last 4 minutes or 3 minutes even. In this case, it didn't. It retraced, failed to break out. So I closed it. I got a pretty fortunate fill, actually. I closed on this candle for only a penny loss, so had nice fills on both ways, and didn't flip into puts. Too late. I don't really like to enter trades for the 5-minute move. I'm already in it, sure, but yeah, I was done after that. So there are the trades. It's not very clear. So on my small account, I did get shares of SEV, which is Aptera. They went from Class B shares to, I guess, Class A shares now? I don't know. They went public. And they were offering shares before they went public. So I have those on here now, so it's a little confusing. But today on SPY, yeah, down $5. So I think I'm probably just going to sell SEV. It's opened horribly, which is what I was expecting. Not this horribly, though. Kind of looking for a little bit of a retrace to close it out. And I'll probably start trading with that. I was going to just start with a $2,000 account once they change the PDT rule. Potentially it'll be before then, because I don't want to just sit on these shares and watch this position turn from ugly to disgusting. So we'll see. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Should I just keep grinding my micro account and put this other money somewhere else, or just trade with this money and still trade it the same way, pretty much, like just one contract for the most part, and then hopefully still have it at $2,000 or more by the time that rule changes, so we can do spreads and stuff. Let me know. Happy Money Monday to you. Sub up, like up, comment down. Happy Money 6 round. Thanks, guys. Thanks for bearing with me in the absence, and we'll see you tomorrow. Peace out.